welcome to Studio 58A live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live on Facebook. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you to everyone joining us online, wherever you are around the world. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much for your eyes. And like how we have your attention, do us a favor now. Share this video with a friend or 2 or 5 million so we can have a very lively discussion. And as you watch, remember to send in your questions and your comments so we can put them to our guests. Now, one of my personal tasks in my capacity as an employee of the government's primary information agency is to reinforce the fact that the government is not just one big entity, not one big nameless, faceless thing people think is in charge of everything. The government service is made up of thousands of individuals who go to work in many sectors every day, dedicated to making things work for their fellow Jamaicans. One of the parts of my job I enjoy is highlighting some of these people, demonstrating excellence in their capacities, which is why I'm happy to be talking today about this year's Civil Servant of the Year Awards 2020. As you can guess, the event seeks to single out civil servants who represent the best of us and celebrate them because you know what? They deserve it. Trust me. They deserve it. All right. Here with me today are Miss Lorna Phillips, Principal Director for Employee Relations at the Ministry of Finance, and representing title sponsors First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union Limited, we have Mrs. Juven Montague Anderson. Welcome to both of you. All right. All right. So as soon as
Thank you so much for having me, Vaughn.
All right, great. We're glad to have both of you here. All right, so I'm going to start with you, Miss Phillips. Talk to me about the Civil Servant of the Year Awards. Give us a little background. Why should we be paying attention to this? What is it all about? What does it seek to accomplish, etc., etc., etc.?
Okay, Vaughn. As you reference those hardworking civil servants, we decided over 15 years ago to identify one individual who embodied what an outstanding civil servant would be and would look like. And since then, we have been identifying such a person throughout the years. And for the record, JIS has featured twice, to my knowledge, in capturing the civil servant of the year.
I mean, it was a little early. I was going to say it, or we just said that we never want to hype too early in the show. All right, no problem. Like how you put it out there, I'm just gonna say JIS full of classy civil servants. Just gonna say won it twice. So any other agencies, this is not a competition, but we're winning. So I'm just saying. Back to you, Miss Phillips.
Right. So over the years, we have tried to enrich the competition. I like to highlight the work of the civil servants to identify their relative worth. And in recent times, we have partnered with First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and they accepted to be our official title sponsor. And so what you are going to hear about today is a revamped Civil Servant of the Year award, of which this year will be the second year having First Heritage Cooperative on board.
All right, so now give me an idea of I understand that once upon a time it was just one person or maybe, one or a few, but there are changes in terms of there being categories of civil servant who receive awards at the competition. Talk to me about that.
Right, so in their proposal, First Heritage identified 3 categories along with the team from the Ministry of Finance. So what used to be a one-person award now allows for persons at all levels to be identified. So we have a technical support civil servant of the year, a mid-managerial civil servant of the year, and a managerial civil servant of the year. And just to tell you who could possibly fall in those categories, for technical support, you have our drivers, our telephone operators, our secretaries, attendants, watchmen, repairs, maintenance technicians, and other categories of workers who fall in those levels. For mid-managerial, in the civil service, we have our main managerial category being the senior executive group, for short SEG. So persons SEG 1 and below, administrators, accountants, senior secretarial persons, IT, and other categories of workers, social workers, also would fall in the mid-managerial, technical, professional level. And for the managerial now, we move to senior management from senior executive level 2 up to levels 4, to include auditors, scientific research persons, foreign service officers, legal officers, among those categories. It's not exhaustive, but in a nutshell, those are some of the persons who would be able to be nominated within those categories.
All right, I'm going to come back to you in just a moment, Ms. Phillips. I'm going to go over to Ms. Montague Anderson. I want to ask you, Ms. Anderson, what was it about this competition that made FHCC decide to get on board? I mean, like I said, I know fully well that our civil servants deserve to be treated like royalty because they do a whole heap of different things. I'm from the inside, so I can see it. But what made FHCC decide to get on board and, be a part of it?
Thank you for that question, Vaughn. Very good question, actually. The First Heritage Cooperative is a financial cooperative. And as such, we provide a host of products and services to our members. But one important group of our membership consists of civil servants. You probably would have recalled in 2012 when there was a merger of credit unions, 2 credit unions, that would have been Churches Cooperative Credit Union and GSB Cooperative Credit Union.
Right.
So at that time, GSB had as its bond civil servants. And as such, a new entity which was formed, which is now First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union, it caused our bond to widen. So we have a very, very important group of members who we love and who we appreciate, our civil servants, and we thought it fitting to continue to recognize them because this is a legacy project that GSB would have been associated with from inception, I would say. And we decided that we wanted to continue. However, since 2012 to 2018, we were still involved, but on a smaller scale. So we actually looked at the program and we decided that we need to add a little oomph to the program. We realized that there are hundreds of civil servants from different levels in the organizations, different categories of workers. And we didn't want anybody to feel as if they were not being recognized. So we looked at it and we decided that we were going to reshape it and we were going to put something else out there that we thought would, capture all different levels, hence us now having 3 different categories, as Lorna mentioned earlier. So persons would feel as if they have a chance, they would not feel overpowered by other persons. They would have a fair chance. And as such, we decided that this is how we're gonna put the program together. This is how we are gonna put it out to the civil servants to encourage partnerships, to reward and to recognize them for their hard work. Because at the credit union, we know that civil servants they play a very, very important role in nation building. And as such, we wanted to get more persons involved, recognize more persons, and also connect deeper with our members who are civil servants.
No, Miss Phillips says you guys you took a look at the program or the format of the program as it was, and you decided to come up with some new things, some new excitement to get people more interested. Apart from expanding the range of entries and categories that person can win, what else can people look forward to when they hear about this competition?
Oh, outside of the recognition and the fact that they're featured, I mean, it's a nice award ceremony, etc. But everybody, once you are competing or you want to be awarded, remember, persons can be self-nominated or their peers can nominate them. as well. But cash incentives are always, I mean, very, very attractive. So what we did, we also look at the incentives, and for the 3 categories of winners, each recipient or each awardee will get a cash prize of $200,000. And there is something else that is in the program, where all 3, they now have to come together and identify a community project. And First Heritage Credit Union, what we have done also is to give them a value of $150,000 towards that combined project.
Fantastic. All right. So in
So there's
addition
something
to
in it for themselves, and there's also that element of them giving back to the community.
all right, so Ms. Phillips, back over to you again. How exactly are people nominated? How do we get persons nominated to be part of this competition? I mean, that it's all well and good to tell them about their awards, but if they don't know how to get to participate, then won't exactly have the kind of support that you want. So how do people get nominated and participate in the competition? Miss Phillips. Oh, it seems like Miss Phillips is having, Miss Phillips, are you hearing me?
Not hearing.
Okay, she's not hearing me. Well, in the meantime, all right, let me go back over to you while we try to sort that out. Miss Anderson again. All right, so First Heritage is on board providing sponsorship and providing support and doing a lot of other ways too, because as you mentioned before, our civil servants are from a good part of your credit union, and they do help a lot. I mean, they're part of your client base rather. Now, what is the lasting impression you'd like persons to have of your credit union as they see you guys working to help build up the civil service? Because I mean, people stay there. Once them see you looking out for us, they're very much more inclined to look out for you. So what is the impression that you want them to take away from FHC when they see you guys going out on a limb like this for them?
Okay, the first thing is that FAC, as a financial cooperative, we care about our members. We have so many financial solutions targeting our members. We encourage them to come in, talk with us, share with us so that we can find a solution for whatever their challenges are. We can help them with their goals, help them to plan. We also want them to see us as a solution-oriented organization where we help them to move from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4, the different phases of their lives. And we also want them to see us as connected to our communities, building up communities wherever we operate, serving our members. Right now we have 11 locations right across the island. So we are very close to basically all civil servants, where we can connect with them, where we can help them. And we're very, very, very reachable. I mean, if you can't come to us, we have team members who can come to you. So at this time, we want them to consider FHC as a caring place, a solution-oriented place, and that place where they can come and let their goals and their dreams come alive.
All right. How long have you guys been associated with the award ceremony now?
From inception, over 15 years, because remember I spoke earlier about the legacy project that GSB Credit Union would have been a part of, and so we inherited all of that when we merged. So we are very close to civil servants.
All right. So in that case, having been a part of it and you've watched and seen from the sidelines how the kind of persons who come forward in this, while we try to get Miss Phillips back to talk about the nomination criteria from where you sit and from what you have seen, what are some of the qualities, some of the characteristics that you find demonstrate a classy civil servant, somebody who's worthy of being named Civil Servant of the Year?
Okay, of course, their customer service skills. I mean, they must have very, very good customer service skills, because civil servants are interacting with the public, and then you'll have those who are not on the front line. They're interacting with their peers as well. So their customer service skills must be on par. The attitude, their job attitude and achievement, that is also very important. You know, how well they perform on the job, because it's not just about nominating someone because that person is nice, etc., but it's the whole package, it's the whole person. So their HR team would also play a role in terms of looking at their appraisals. looking at their personal values and the character of this person as well. How well do they portray moral and ethical standards, the respect in the workplace, how they demonstrate leadership qualities as well. Because you don't have to have a title, a leadership title, to be a leader. Because in your own sphere or in your own space, you can lead in terms of your whatever your job description is, or lead within your with your tasks that you execute. And also how well you demonstrate social responsibility, because we want to have someone who sees volunteerism as very important, and that person will want to participate in charitable activities. Hence, we have that project assigned where they'll all will now come together and create that project or work on that project, giving back to their community. So these are some of the characteristics of that we think, you know, are representative of a good civil servant, someone who is works hard and who is dedicated, etc.
All right, let me see if we can bring Miss Phillips back in. Miss Phillips, are you back with us? See if you can have her unmuted and see if she'll be back with us.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. All right, lovely. Talk to us about the nomination process, Ms. Phillips. How do persons nominate their co-workers, their friends themselves to become Civil Servant of the Year?
Okay, so we have a set of forms that we would have circulated to all ministries and departments, and individuals just need to complete the various sections of the form along with the relevant passport size picture. They would also need to get sign off from the employer, whether it is HR or the head of the organization, just to validate the nomination. Now, last year we required that departments submit their applications through their parent ministry, and that would have created some kind of a delay or bottleneck. So this year we have removed that stricture, and so the entities, the agencies, they can just send their applications or award recommendations directly to me at the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. So persons can nominate themselves. However, that would have to be also validated by their HR or head of entity, just to ensure that it fits the requirements, and persons can be nominated by their peers, managers, etc. And once they complete 4 copies of the nomination form along with the pictures, they submit those to the Ministry of Finance. Now, if they want to add supporting documentation, we welcome those, because those also help to validate the extent to which persons extend themselves and so on. And I know last year persons went into the communities that some people work, spoke to people there, spoke to pastors and so on, just to give us a full picture of who this person is that they were nominating. So by all means, we accept all of that.
All right. The reason I stress nomination because I believe the competition, the deadline for submission is right upon us, isn't it?
It is October 30th, which is this Friday. So we don't have a lot of time left. We have started to receive nominations, and so we are encouraging everyone out there to send their nominations in, drop them off. You can physically bring them just in case so they don't get delayed, you know, stale mail, or, you know, it gets misplaced. You can bring it directly, and we're going to put a drop box in at the front of the Ministry of Finance where persons can drop off these nominations.
All right. So because I believe repetition is the key to learning, once again, let's talk about the 3 categories that persons can enter the competition at. All right. So talk to me about the categories that persons can enter at, Miss Phillips.
So we're going to start with the technical and support categories, and the people who fall in this category would be labor and mechanical operations group, or some persons in the information system, like your basic data entry persons, your watchmen, your attendants, your gardeners, telephone operators, secretaries levels 1 and 2, and other technicians. Now for your mid-managerial, it would have fiscal management group as in accounting, regulatory management group, information system persons at higher levels, public information and documentation group, and persons in the post and telegraph group. And these persons would be your IT persons, first level managers, directors, some accounting, and some levels 1 and 2 secretarial groups would fall in this level. For your managerial groups, you would now have your senior executives from SEG2 upwards, auditors, accountant, and persons in the accounting series, scientific officers, foreign service officers, and your legal categories. And as I did indicate, there are a number of other groups of workers. We have a very expansive classification in the public service, but people know what the equivalencies are and are able to make the nominations in relation to the categories.
All right, and Miss Montague Anderson, I'm gonna bring you back in because encouragement sweeten labor. Remind people what they can win again if they manage to come out on top in this competition.
They will receive the recognition as the First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union Civil Servant of the Year awardee. They will receive that recognition, and that recognition, it comes with a cash incentive of $200,000 for each recipient. And remember, we are giving 3 awards, and they will also be a part of a community project where all 3 will now have to come together to decide on one project, and the value of that is $150,000 that we will give them to execute that project.
Right. So to both of you ladies, I'm going to put a question to you that is one that we in the civil servants have had to deal with for a while. And it's good to always tackle these kinds of things head on. One of the things that you always hear is that the perception of the average civil servant worker is somebody who is lazy and somebody who doesn't care because, you know, you just turn up and put in the minimum effort and that's it, and you go home and so on. So we know that, well, I know, I can speak for it because I see the people, I know them, I see persons from all across the sector doing their best and putting some real work in to make sure that everything works out smooth on behalf of their fellow citizen. So Miss Montague Anderson, from where you sit, what is your take on this notion of the lazy civil servant rather?
Well, I wouldn't say they are lazy or the lazy civil servant, because right across all organizations, you'll have different persons, I mean, giving you different output in terms of their jobs. But at First Heritage Credit Union, we encourage all to give it their best shot. And in the government in the government sector, I know they encouraged team members to give it their best shot as well. Do what you're supposed to do your work, do it well, and you will be richly rewarded. And sometimes reward does not have to come as a monetary reward. Recognition can come in different ways. So I wouldn't say that is how we perceive them. We value them. We value their contribution to nation building. We value their contribution because some of them are essential service workers. Mm-hmm. And that's we are very, very passionate about essential workers. And we just want to continue to encourage them to do do their jobs and do it to the best of their abilities. So I wouldn't really refer to them like that, but just to continue to encourage them to put their best foot forward and to continue to serve and to continue to do the tasks that they have been charged with.
All right, Ms. Phillips, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right, so you may have missed my preamble a while ago. What I was saying is that you probably have heard it before yourself as someone who has been involved in the civil service for all this time. Persons out there, the perception of the lazy civil servant, the person who just turns up to work, does the bare minimum, and isn't that interested in doing the work on behalf of their fellow citizen. I know that's wrong. I'm sure you know that's wrong as well. So talk to people and let them know just how wrong that whole mentality is.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I feel very strongly about, because that has not been my experience or antecedent in terms of the lazy civil servant, but I am aware of the perception. However, what this competition is seeking to highlight, it is the persons who are committed, who give every day, those who, I have persons who get here from 6:30 in the morning to 6:45, and they start working when they get here. They're not required to, but they do. And these are persons who also go the extra mile. So on the one hand, persons may encounter someone who does not fit the standard that we're going after. But the majority of persons are those who give everything, go the extra mile, make the sacrifices to ensure that the experience that our citizens receive is of the standard and quality that one would expect. So we want to highlight these persons who go above and beyond so that we can dissuade the thought of those who really believe that the civil service is someplace where people walk around with towel over their shoulder and glass in them. And we don't get towels anymore. Neither do we get
You used to
glasses.
get towel?
So
You
that
wear
is
towels?
of the past. That is behind. Yes, there used to be towels.
Oh, really? Wow. All right. You learn something new every day. All right. So well, just to reinforce what you're saying, like I said, one of my jobs and one of the things I take pride in trying to reinforce to the public is that the government service is not just a big entity, a nameless, faceless entity that's just responsible for everything. So when people say the government should do this and so on, it's not quite like that. There are thousands of individuals who turn up to work every day doing their best, trying to make sure that the services they provide to members of the public are up to scratch and making sure that they can solve any potential problems and just basically provide the support and help that the members of the public need and deserve. So, this competition seeks to reinforce that. And I can think of no better way, really, because I mean, as we say, encouragement does sweeten labor. When you know that you can stand a chance to win and get the recognition and be, put up as civil servant of the year, that definitely would motivate anyone to do their work and do it best. You know what I mean? And I guarantee just being nominated also, because based on what you have listed here as a nomination criteria, it seems like you're looking for the best and brightest. You know what I mean? And, just to reinforce again that the competition, the deadline for entries is October 30, everyone. So if you have plans to nominate somebody or nominate yourself, you need to get the ball rolling, get to working so that we can have that person nominated as soon as possible. Let me ask, have you identified a date for the competition, for the actual award ceremony?
Juven, would you take that one? Miss Montague?
Yes, we have.
Right.
The award ceremony will actually take place in November, and we're actually looking at November, around November 20th. But what we're encouraging persons to do now is to nominate themselves or look around at their team members and see, those team members who they think are worthy of nomination and get those nominations and applications in. Because as you said, time is drawing near. It's the 30th of October, and there are 3 categories, as we said before, that we want to have presented. And as it's the prices are very, very attractive, so we want to see as many persons as possible. But just to share with you a little bit, the 3 persons who won last year and actually where they came from. For the technical category, we had Candice Henry, and Candice represented the Jamaica Defense Force. For the middle management category, we had Sophia Levy, and Sophia came from the Administrator General's Department. And also from the management category, we had Celia Lindsay, who came from the Jamaica Information Services. So we want.
I'm not going to pause. I'm just say that. So where that last person come from again? Where did that last person work? Just remind me.
All 3 persons. We had one coming from Administrator General Department, one coming from the Jamaica Defense Force, and one coming from the Jamaica Information Service.
Where you say I didn't hear that last one? Where you say where them come
Jamaica
from?
Information Service.
Okay, I just making sure that everybody here, you know, this is not me being nepotism. I'm just reminding the people that, you know, the Jamaica. Anyway, moving on. Right. So we have persons from, it's a wide range. As you can see, Jamaica Defense Force Administrator General's Department, there are lots of persons. So you don't have to feel intimidated. Persons who might maybe working in some departments who might feel like they're not necessarily going to get the recognition they deserve. I guarantee that the judges are going to be very fair, and they're going to look through, and they're going to make sure that if you're doing the work,
yes,
you're going to be nominated. Isn't that right, Miss Montague Anderson?
Yes, yes. But we don't want persons to be afraid. Just come forward. If you're very confident that the criteria we're looking for, you fit the bill, do self-nomination. Nominate yourself.
All right. We have a quick, let me just show some love to her. We have a comment online from somebody calling himself Humble Bumble, saying, thank you, Humble, for your comment. Appreciate that. Love the name, by the way. Please tell them no nepotism. Thanks. So how do you feel about that? I mean, definitely wouldn't want that, but I'm sure in the judging process, you managed to overcome that challenge, right?
We do. We have our adjudicators are from a cross section of persons. We have persons within our organization, and we have persons from the government as well. So it is well balanced. It is well balanced.
All right, fantastic. All right. So one more time, Miss Phillips, I'm going to have you, as we kind of move things down and bring things to a close, once more, just to remind persons of the nomination criteria. What do they have to do to nominate somebody or nominate themselves to be a part of this award ceremony?
Okay, so the person has to show great customer service skill, internal and external. They should demonstrate a level of personal development and actively be demonstrating social responsibility. And this is in addition to their work ethic and how they go about performing their job, their attendance, work attitude, and so on. So these are the main criteria that we are looking for: someone who has distinguished themselves in their job and is an outstanding team player of the entity.
All right. And once again, Miss Montague Anderson, talk to me about the community service and volunteerism aspect of the competition as well. Reinforce that again.
So in the spirit of volunteerism, credit unions are built on volunteerism. And as such, we have infused it in this awards, where we are saying to the entrants, you must be able to demonstrate volunteerism within your communities. And we have put all three together. They must identify a community project. They must agree on this one project, and they will have to work together to execute this project. So the value of the project that we are putting up is $150,000, and this is separate from the individual prize monies that they would have won of $200,000 each. So it's up to them to put the project together. They would share the project with us. We would look at the project, probably make some recommendations, or we could go ahead with the project as is that they have put forward, and we finance the project.
All right, quick question coming in online from Delando Morant. He's asking, does it go for contract workers? Which I suppose does form some kind of breakdown, because, you know, in the government service, there's a wide range of different types and categories of workers. I suspect he probably wants to know if he qualifies or somebody in that category qualifies.
So contract workers can be nominated if there is evidence that this person has had continuous employment within the service over a period.
All right, so hopefully that answers that question for you, Delando Morant. Thanks for your comment, by the way. Thanks for your interest. So contract workers can be nominated, so it's up to you to maybe have somebody nominate you, or find that person who you had in mind and nominate that person. All right. Now, once again, 3 categories, 3 winners each, $200,000 each, right? So you have your managerial category, which we won last year. I just felt the need to remind persons of that. Mid-managerial and technical support. All three categories, $200,000 each. Plus, you will be receiving support to carry out a community project, which, that speaks for itself. That's a fantastic way to give back to your community and so on. So it just also goes to show that the civil servant of the year must also demonstrate an interest in social issues and activism to improve the country. I mean, even as much as you're already doing work to improve the country through your direct job, broaden your wings a little bit, spread some love to your wider community, to your society, that kind of thing. So we also want well-rounded individuals, right? So more importantly, the nomination period closes on October 30, Friday. So you need to get to work, hit the ground running. If there's anybody who you see around the office, that person who you see, you say, boy, I know, say that person is a good worker. Say a long time really I try to do some good work in an agency. Let's get together and nominate the person. Talk to them, talk to your colleagues and so on, and just send up a nomination. I believe it would make sense for as many nominations as possible to come forth, right? Both ladies, right? I'm sure you want to see as a
Yes.
deluge of nominations, right?
Yes.
More than you can manage.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
I'm sure that there are much more. How many nominations do you see on average when
It varies from time to time. So an average of, say, 12 over the years, the past years, I would say an average of 12. So we are hoping to increase that.
Yeah, I would say like quadruple or quintuple, whatever you want to call it. We just want to have a whole heap of nominations because there are more than enough qualified persons out there to receive the title, right? So members
there
of the
are. And so we want persons to take the time to nominate the persons.
Right. This is the message. Nominate. I'm sure you know somebody who working at the civil servant, somebody who a neighbor, your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, somebody you know. Talk to it, find out what's going on and nominate the person. We need to have more. The more nominations it is, the more we can do to rehabilitate the notion and move as far away as possible from the idea of the lazy civil servant. We want this to become such a prestigious competition, one where, the person who wins, say, no, sir, that person that emerge out of the tens of thousands of civil servants in the country and win, that's what we're trying to get here. So don't be shy, don't wait, nominate, right? That sounds like a good tagline. Don't wait, nominate. Nominate the people in your agency, nominate all the people you talk to. Yeah, I'm sure everybody has a civil servant in the family at some point.
Or nominate yourself.
You can nominate yourself. That's it. There you go.
Nominate yourself.
You don't need any more motivation than that.
Right.
Right. And remember, deadline is October 30. So we do have a lot of time. See if we can flood FHCC and flood Ministry of Finance with some last minute nominations. That's what I would like to see. And I'm sure it's going to happen. We're going to speak it into being. Right, ladies?
Correct.
Yes, we are. Yes,
All
we
right.
are.
So, for more information about the competition, persons can visit fhccu.com or you can visit mof.gov.jm. So that's basically the websites of First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union and the Ministry of Finance. You can go and get all the details there. So you can go and find out all the ways to nominate, prize money, community service project, all of that. All of that is there. So just go and take a look and you get all you need right there. So you can go ahead and enter the competition, right? All right, so the only thing left for me to do, I guess, is just thank both of you ladies for joining us and sharing the information. I'm gonna just give both of you a last word each to kind of charge up our civil servants and let them know, give them some more motivation. I've done my part. Now, both of you, please just talk to the civil servants and let them know why they must nominate and participate in this competition. I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Phillips.
Okay, thank you, Vaughn, especially for accommodating us and giving us this opportunity to speak to our civil servants out there. I want to say that we know that people love money, but there are some persons who appreciation and recognition values way more to them. And so we would like to give you that opportunity to big up somebody, to highlight somebody, to show respect to someone who has given of themselves, given a lot, and has gone extra mile. This is an opportunity for you to say thank you to this person by nominating them. Who knows, they may very well be crowned the Civil Servant of the Year for the category in which they fall. Thank you.
All right. Now, Miss Montague Anderson, your turn. Give them a nice little charge and let them know why they need to nominate their civil servants or nominate themselves and before the deadline of October 30.
Okay, as title sponsors of the FHC Civil Service Awards of the year, we just want to encourage persons to look within yourselves, look within your spaces, look around you, look at your peers, and identify persons who you think fit the bill, persons who you think are worthy of receiving this award. We know that there are many hardworking persons in civil service and persons who are worthy to be nominated, and we encourage you do that. At FHC, we know that this is your place. It's your place for banking. It's your place for your financial partnership. It's your place to design your goals. It's your place for all your solutions. And we encourage you, our members who are civil servants, to take the opportunity, be confident, know your worth, and put in your nomination or nominate your peers around you. At FHC, we say FHC is my place, it's your place, it's our place. So we are charging all the civil servants, put your nominations in. The deadline is the 30th of October.
Right, you hear that, people? 30th of October, Friday coming, all right? fhccu.com or mof.gov.jm. So you can get all the information at those two websites. Find out what you need to do, nominate, and we'll see you on November 20 when the ceremony gets underway. All right, with that said, it's time for us to wrap. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you who sent in your questions and your comments. And if you have a question, go ahead and send it in at the bottom, write it in the comment section. We can go through afterwards and make sure that either Ms. Phillips or Ms. Anderson get it so that we can pass on the correct information to you. Now, remember, our audience plays a major part in our show. So if there's anyone you'd like to see us, like to have in studio, let us know. We'll try our best to have that person in studio as soon as possible. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, at Instagram, at Jamaica Information Service to see who will be in studio next. We do this every week live on Facebook. I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you very much for joining us, and please have a wonderful day. Take care now.